Okay, I am filming. I'm filming this for anyone who's crashed their Phantom 3 Standard, having compass issues afterwards. This here is your compass wires coming up from your compass, which is down here on this leg. This is the back of the machine. It plugs in. Let me find something to point with. You guys see that? Yep. Plugs in here. And what happens, because this is so close, to the side of the case there, gets bumped. That's what happened on this one twice now. The first time, it just bumped it and tilted it up, and I had to solder one of the things back on. The second time, it actually ripped them back off. And then I soldered it back on. But this first one here, let's see if I can get it to where you guys can, there you go, you can see real well. This first one here, it was detached. It ripped off the board. So I had a jumper wire coming from here out, and this actually was another gold pad like this one. These are test pads. And I soldered it to that. But my mistake was this connection here. I had the wire coming in from this way. It was a little bit too long and it was touching that pad there. It was giving me errors when I was flying because it was bouncing on it and touching it. Well, what happened is I'm like, okay, I'll just pull this off and resolder this on, longer and get it on there properly. Well, with jumper wire. As I was trying to solder it on there, it was coming up like this, and I just tried bending the wire over, pulled that test pad off. So, if you break these connections here, you can just resolder them. I'm going to excuse me. I'm going to show you where each one of these go in case they do rip off. Like I said, this first one here, you can resolder to this test pad. And since I ripped this test pad off, I'll show you where else it goes that I'm going to have to resolder on. This second one there, this one here, right there, goes to this test pad. And you can confirm that with a multimeter set to beep. It'll beep when you make, oops, there you go. When you make contact. Let me set you guys up in a tripod and I'll show you this a little closer. Okay, it's gonna be a little awkward for you guys to see. I'm just gonna have to go with me on this because I can't hold the phone and film this at the same time. This contact here, this gold pad, goes to the second contact from the left. Wait. Correction. It goes to the very end contact, all the way on the right. I'll do that again. Touch that on the pad. Touch the very last contact. You can hear it beep. So the brown wire goes to this one. The gray wire, which is all the way on the right or left, goes to this contact. I can't test that one because, like I said, I have these ones ripped off. The yellow wire, there you can see the brown wire, the gray wire. The yellow wire, it's the second one in line, goes to the left side of this tiny little rectangle thing here. I think it's a little resistor or diode. I don't know a whole lot about what each component does. I just know how to wire them a little better. From there, over here on the board, you can see all the connectors on the big main box here. I'm going to put the probe on the rectangle and just slowly go along. Now, it doesn't connect to any of those. But it does connect. You guys can't see, I'm on the other side. Move you around over here. Connects to the one I'm touching there. I'll find it again. This one right here would be the 8th one from the left side of the drone. If you get confused on which side's front and back, left and right, it does say on here. Now that one, I don't believe you can solder right to the pad here, because it does go through that little rectangle thing right there. And the other connection here the last one, which is the red wire, you gotta remember it skips the middle one on this connector here. The red wire goes to the other side of that rectangle, and if I remember right, I thought it connected. Yep. It is right there by the N on front. This one that I am missing here, it's the gray wire. Oop, get you down here. It's the one furthest to the left. I've already traced it. Goes to the R. Now I touched, I don't know if you guys will be able to see. Maybe not, maybe. There's a tiny little wire right there. Yeah, you guys can see it wiggling back and forth. If I touch there and the R, I got connection, and I actually ohmed that, and it reads no ohms of resistance other than the resistance I get through my wires, my test leads. So that I don't believe is connected to anything else. Since I cannot get this to fly without a compass reading, and I've lost the ability to solder onto the pad here, the test pad, like I had it, the lead is actually completely missing on this one. On this side, it ripped off. I'm going to solder it to the R pad there and see if I get readings back on the compass. You can actually see it on the DJI Go app. You click on the drone, you go all the way down to the bottom, and there will be an advanced features, I believe. And you go into that menu and you scroll down to input sensors or sensor something like that. You click on it and it'll give you all your gyroscope data and your compass data, maybe one or two other things. But if you're reading all zeros, that's probably what your issue is. It's either that, or I did notice when I was taking the cover off of the actual compass down here, if you're using a magnetic screwdriver, it reads all zeros also. But I'll let you know if that works. So I see there's a lot of people that have issues with that and end up having to buy a motherboard. I did buy another motherboard for this. It's on the way. It'll be here in a couple days. Because I didn't think I'd be able to figure this out. But I'll let you know. because I can't really mess it up any worse than it is. This thing's been crashed quite a few times. You can see it's had the wires pinched and putting the fasteners back in. That was probably me. I think I'm the only one that's ever had this part. This right here is crash damage. That needs to be taped up. The last time it was crashed, this plug here, if I can find the top, you can see it there. Half of that one broke off, so it's kind of finicky to get back in. That's for the GPS, but it does fly with it. So I'm going to solder that up, and I'll let you know what happens. Hopefully I don't pull that pad off too. Okay, so I haven't gotten any further. Well, I sort of did. What I did find out is red is ground. It's 5-volt input, which is weird because down here for the USB, because it's labeled there, it's the other way around. But I have not had these out. But like I said, this is 5-volt input, that's ground. This is your negative data. The gray one is your positive data. I think I'm having another issue here because this little wire right there is the original connection wire for this pin here, which is the one I'm missing the trace from. But you can see it, it's hard for you guys to tell, I can see it in person. It ran right here, and then over to this test pad, but right here there's a through hole that it goes through. And when I had this connected before, I had the test pad, which remember is connected to that wire, had the test pad soldered, well, basically to this wire here through the connector, because it went through the connector down and then out, and I soldered it right there with the jumper wire, which is actually that little bit of wire here I had in there. And what was giving me issues was these, sorry about that, these two connections here, this one and that one, were touching with the thinnest strand of wire. So I'm wondering if somewhere I'm getting a, you know, the same situation, I just can't see it, where something's touching. I haven't messed with anything else on the board, just probed. There's some pretty great looking connections there. I'm gonna probe around, see if any of those are touching side to side. They're just not great looking. I don't see anything else that would be. And I already checked the other end and put the cover back on to make sure that's not getting bumped or anything like that. So I'll let you know. Like I said, I got a new board coming here. It'll be Wednesday when it gets here. Today is Monday night, so I'm just impatient. I'd like to fix this one so I know exactly what's wrong with it. That way I can use it as a backup if something ever were to happen to the new one. And also to help you guys out, because I know some people are like me online trying to figure this out. I've seen a couple people that were soldering wires on, and I think a couple of them just had them in the wrong spots, and they gave up and just ended up buying a new motherboard. But I'll let you know. Alright. Alright, so I cannot, for the life of me, get that to reconnect. Let's see if I can get you guys zoomed in. I don't know why I wasn't using the zoom earlier. But you can see right there, this little wire. See it wiggle there. That went from this through hole to a test pad here, just like that one. You can see this one's traced there. It came from this pad to this through hole, from this through hole to the trace, or to the test pad. Like I said, you can solder, resolder to connect this wire. It's a gray wire, it's not plugged in right now, it's right there. From here, if this point breaks, you can solder it here. You should be able to solder it here also, but I think with my probing, because I was probing for positive and ground to here, which I shouldn't have been doing, because this is 17 volts here. This takes 5. I may have toasted one of the little components in between either here and there or in the compass itself down here on the leg. But hope it helps somebody out. I have a new board coming in the mail. Once I get the new board in, I'll put that in and then tinker around with this one some more in my free time to see if I can get that fixed. But I don't have high hopes for it now, because even when I connect this wire here to the little circle there, right there, where it was originally connected, I'm still not getting a compass reading. So, although earlier today I was, and yesterday and stuff, I mean, I fixed this a day or two ago. I've been flying it since, so I messed something else up. But that'll help somebody else. So thanks for watching. Like I said, hope this helps somebody else. Like, comment, subscribe for more videos and stuff like this. Alright.